right, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. Thank you for joining us for this next iteration of our Tribe Transition webinar series. My name is Heather Deer, and I'm the Director of Family Engagement here at William & Mary. And we've reached the halfway point of the summer. We're about halfway through the Tribe Guide checklist. We've taken care of some big to-dos like room selection, and now we're on to the next. I know there are a few things top of mind for you, but the topic today I know for sure is based on the questions we've been receiving, and I know they have been as well. Today we're talking all things student accounts. So when is that bill coming? How do you pay for it? What access do you need? What are the systems? What is the language? And what do you need to know to ensure everything is settled once your student arrives here at William & Mary? So I want to give our presenters plenty of time because this is going to be one of our most informative sessions that we have during the summer, and I want to make sure they have plenty of time for all of the questions that I know you'll ask and the great information that they'll share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them while I get their slides ready to go, and we will get started with our session.
My name is Tabitha Pretlow. I am the Associate Director for the Bursar's Office, and my colleague Kelly Johnson, who is with us, is the Supervisor over Student Accounts, and we are very excited to share this information that we have with you today to make parents and students more informed regarding the Bursar's Office, what we do, and where we are on campus. So thank you, Heather, for this opportunity for us to just really speak on campus and be able to get the information out for new students or, returning students and their parents to really just inform them of what we do at the Bursar's office. So this slide, basically, we're just saying who we are, what we do. We're located in Blow Hall on campus, which is directly across where Chick-fil-A is, the big building with the steps. That's where we're located in the basement. What we do is a little bit different, right? So what we do is we apply charges and credits and payments to all students' accounts, undergrad and graduates. We have a cashier's office in our building, which is within our department that will take payments for our students. We prepare and provide bills for students. We manage the payment plans. We apply holds and late fees. We process third-party payments, which we'll get into a little bit later in the presentation. We process refunds. We prepare 1098-T. We verify authorizations, and we manage eServices. So we do a lot. We do a lot for the students on campus. And we'll go into each individual item as we go through this presentation. Information regarding our charges and posting payments to our students' account. On our charges, we charge students for tuition and fees, housing and the meal plans, the health insurance, and miscellaneous fees such as maybe library charges or when students go to the health centers for different various things, those fees are charged to the bills as well. And the health department or the library will send us an email and we upload that to the student's account. We also are responsible for the payments. Cash, we take cash, checks, money orders. Our in-person cashier's office will take all forms of payments except for credit cards. Our credit cards are through our eServices account. And if you set that up, we can take electronic checks. We can debit them from your checking account or savings account, and that is something that you would set up. And our credit card plan, we do have credit card payments, and those payments, we do turn over a service fee of a 2.95% service charge that is included with a credit card. But if you do make electronic payment, that payment is free. Okay. We do take third-party payments via military. We take the 529 plan, and we also take outside scholarships. We also take international payments via our Flywire services. And the link is at the bottom. So you're able to click on our link and you'll be able to see all of our types of payments, and it will allow you to click on what payment you would like to complete at that time. Our student health insurance charges. So, William and Mary, we have health insurance that you can either opt in or opt out. If you have your own insurance, we do have a waiver system for this insurance. We waive the insurance fee by it as long as you log into the portal, which the link is provided at the bottom, and you can waive in for insurance or you can waive out for insurance. And once you click that link, you can have the option to, like I said, to waive in for the insurance plan, or you can opt out for the insurance plan. My biggest suggestion is please make sure that you do this by July 31st. If there's no election made, you will automatically be enrolled into the William Mary Health Insurance Plan. The rates as of today, we don't anticipate on those rates changing, but they could. But as of today, these are our rates for the fall, spring, and summer. I just want to talk a little bit about our payments that you could mail in. So, with our payments, we have obviously, like I said in the beginning, we have a couple of different forms of ways that you can make a payment. Um, you can pay the entire semester by the due date, which is the first of every month. And you can pay internally by coming into the bursar's office, or you can make a payment via mail. If you're putting a payment in the mail, just standard mail, I would suggest you using our mailing address and please address it to the bursar's office. Attention bursar's office student accounts. We are a small community with many buildings. And if you don't put bursar's office or student accounts on your addressed envelope, it could get lost, it could get held up. Um, Definitely the post office might send it to different departments, and we want to ensure that it gets mailed and sent to the bursar's office so we can upload it in a timely fashion to your account. If you're mailing your payment express mail, courier service, I'm asking you if you could please use the information listed at the bottom because that's a different address. We want that directly to come to our office. So this way we can ensure that your payment gets applied in a timely fashion as well. So there is two different mailing addresses. One if you're just putting it in the mail, and one if you're doing it overnight express courier service. We're asking that you pay attention to the two different addresses so we can get that check in the mail. William and Mary does not endorse any Pacific tuition insurance plan. However, there are many plans available to purchase independently. So we just want to make sure that when you are looking for any kind of tuition insurance plan, we do not back up any plan, but you're more than welcome to get them independently if you like. E-bills. And I know this is what every student is looking for, or every parent is looking for, is our e-bill services, right? Monthly statements are available around the 10th of each month, reflecting your previous balances and activities since your last statement. Due dates, like I said, is the first of every month. Sometimes might change a little bit depending on holidays, especially over the Christmas holiday. And you will get an email notification sent to students and authorized users as well. Detailed statements are available via your eServices account, and you could just click on that and you'll be able to pull up a very detailed statement that will itemize everything for you. You can see what you're getting charged and your credits. Always check your e-statements. I would say minimum at least once a month. Sometimes the student could incur library charges. They could incur different charges by visiting the health center. So you really want to make sure that you check your bill at least once a month, even though you know you paid off your bill. The student could incur just a different charges throughout the month that you want to make sure that you pay in a timely fashion. Um, First bill of each semester, just want to talk, William Mary, we have 3 semesters. We have fall, spring, and summer. And the due date for the fall would be August 1st. For the spring, it would be January the 5th. And for the summer, it would be June the 1st. Dates are estimate, like I said before, depending on holidays or if the first falls on the weekend. So you want to make sure that you really look online and adhere to those guidelines as far as when your bill is due. Payment plans. Current charges for tuition, housing, meal plans, minus any funding or expected funding, is divided into 4 monthly payment plans. This payment plan, unfortunately, does not apply for students abroad. I would encourage you to reach out to the Reef Center for study abroad arrangements and payment and resources to fund for study abroad programs. This payment plan is for regular, just current charges for William Mary students that are not studying abroad. Like I said, we do 4 equal monthly payment plans every for the spring and for the fall. And you can enroll in the payment plan via eServices each semester. Payment plans is not available during the summer semester. You would pay in full. You may have scholarship or financial aid for summer, and you would want to reach out to the financial aid department regarding that. Payment plan enrollment opens the day the first e-bill is available each semester. And it closes on the last day of the undergraduate add or drop. And you can go online and see those dates for add drop every semester. The dates are updated and are posted on our website. We do charge a $50 enrollment per semester. So if you're thinking about having a payment plan for the fall and you're thinking about having a payment plan for the summer, for the spring, that would be $50 for the fall and $50 for the spring. There is a $25 late payment fee. Each month the payment is late, you will get a $25 late fee. Interest is free. There's no interest. You're strictly paying whatever is on your account divided up into 4 payment plans. Now, your payment plan will fluctuate if you make changes to your payment plan as far as like adding a class or dropping a class. Then your payment plan will automatically adjust to equate for the new charges that you have. It will not fluctuate if you have incidentals. Those incidentals will not be included in your payment plan. Incidentals are, if you have, like I said, health insurance charges, anything like that, fines, parking, those would be incidental. So those would not roll over in a payment plan. Payment due dates is the first of each month, and scheduled payments versus a manual payment. Scheduled payments are automatically withdrawn on the date from the specific payment method. So when you log into eServices to set up a scheduled payment plan, you need to put in a payment method, how you're going to make that payment. Once you put in how you're going to make that payment, you can set up for either manual payments, which means you'll go in monthly and make those payments, or you have a scheduled payment plan on that particular date. Whatever you choose, which is easier for you, we do have both options available. Our payment plans automatically adjust, like I said before, remaining payments for additional charges or credits. Maybe you received a scholarship, extra funding, a grant. Your payment plan will take that into consideration and add those charges or those credits to your plan. If multiple payers need to make payments, please have the student create a plan under their name. It is easier for a student to set up and sign up for the plan versus an authorized user. And I'll tell you the difference. If you're an authorized user and you set up the payment plan, you are the only one that can make that payment plan. you'll be the one responsible for the payments. No one else can make the payments. If the student makes the payment plan and sets up multiple authorized users, then anyone that they have on there as an authorized user can go into the account and make the payment plan. So we do have those choices for different circumstances, and those options are available on our eServices. We also have payments directly from 529 plan. You would need to schedule those manually by your plan owner, and make sure that those 529 checks do arrive by the due date. If we incur if we receive those checks after the deadline, unfortunately, you will receive a late fee. So I encourage you that if you know that you're using a 529 plan, that you contact them early and ask them to make that plan. And you can send it to the mailing address. Sometimes we have parents and students who will make the payment and the 529 plan will, can credit them back. You'll get a refund. So it's up to you. But I would contact them if you haven't already and just advise them that you need to have that by the due date. And we do have a link regarding our payment plans in this webinar. Now we're going to start talking about the third party payments. And I'm going to turn the floor over to Kelly, and she will be able to give you all the information you need on third party payments.
Thank you, Tabitha. That was excellent information. I do want to just add a couple of items. So on the payment plan, it does include the student health insurance. What it won't include are incidentals through the health clinic. So if your student goes to the health clinic and they have maybe some medication charge or the actual visit for the health center, that will not be included in the payment plan, but your health insurance will be. And then secondly, if you're an international student and you need to pay through Flywire, but you want to participate in the payment plan, you can. There's going to be some timing involved in that, just very similar to the 529 arrangement. You're going to need to work it out with the Flywire system to have that payment set ahead of time, because the late fees will still apply to your situation. So just being very organized and planning ahead of time for those payments to come in a timely fashion would be really important. But on to third-party payments, so outside scholarships. I love talking about scholarships. Please, please, please notify the university of all outside scholarships by completing the link below. That link that you're seeing at the bottom of the page not only communicates with our office here in student accounts, but it communicates with the financial aid office. So you may see the same link on their site. It is there as well. So you can use either location. It doesn't matter to us. All the information goes to the same place. Outside aid would include tuition assistance plans. Maybe you have a parent who works at a university and they have a tuition assistance plan, or maybe you have a military TA, or maybe you have the Boosters Club scholarship or a third-party payer that requires us to invoice them. These are all scenarios where we would kindly ask that you submit that information at the link below. Even if the scholarship was paid directly to the student, it is required that you notify the university, especially if you've applied for financial aid, that you report all outside funds. Eligibility for financial aid. If the outside resource was not reported at the time of financial aid eligibility was determined, your aid will possibly need to be reassessed upon notification of the documentation. So if you have any questions about that, please direct them to our financial aid office. You can reach them at finaid, FINAID at wm.edu, and they will be happy to answer your questions. Many of you maybe already have been assigned a personal financial aid counselor, so of course I would contact them directly if you have. Again, outside scholarships. Many of you may have questions about pending credit memos. The university will grant a pending credit memo for an award letter for a scholarship where funds have not been received yet. We would need to review the document, and we cannot grant a pending credit memo for scholarships that have stipulations. And let me give a couple of examples. Those would be scholarships that are grade dependent. Of course, for obvious reasons, we would not be able to grant a pending credit memo for a grade dependent scholarship. Also, another situation would be maybe for a scholarship where the payment's not going to come in until a future semester. So we would not be able to do that as well. Now, we can put the payment on the account when it comes in. We just wouldn't be able to give you that pending credit ahead of time. Unless otherwise stated, academic scholarships are split between the fall and spring semesters, just fall and spring, not fall, spring, and summer. If your particular scholarship is slated for a specific semester, that scholarship agency will tell us that when that check is sent to us, and we do apply that to the specific semester that it is slated for. If the outside scholarship is a tuition-only award, it's just very important that you know it may conflict with other tuition-only aid. Please contact your awarding entity to inquire if you're not sure if it's tuition-only or not. And if you have any questions about how that may or may not affect your financial aid, please direct them to the financial aid office. Just as a general rule, most outside scholarships do not conflict. They're not tuition only. There are a few that are, but I would say they cover a very small percentage of our outside resources. So if you're wondering if yours is or not, sometimes it will state it in the documentation that you have, the actual award. And sometimes you may need to ask the financial aid office or your agency that's sending the funds. Any internal William and Mary scholarship questions, please direct them towards financial aid. Those are the internal scholarships that the actual university is granting. So those would be very specific answers, and we just ask that you reach out to financial aid for those. Again, the link for the outside resource reporting form is at the bottom of your screen. Please, if you have any questions, submit your documents there, and our office will reach back out to you and answer any questions that you may have. Our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful military families. At the top of the screen, you will see our certifier's email address. Your process will start with completing the VA benefits information sheet here. The link is live right there. That information sheet will ask 99.9% of all questions that we have pertaining to your benefit. So if you complete the form fully, our certifier will have the information that they need to certify your benefit and have your benefit applied to your student account. Benefits paid directly to the university will be notated on the student's account as expected funds. So right away, as soon as you're certified, we will place that benefit on your account and it will be reflective in your balance. Benefits must be confirmed each semester, important to realize. So please complete that VA benefits information sheet each and every semester. There can be changes, so it's important that we're aware of those. If you're using benefits for the first time here at William & Mary, we have a site just for you. Using military benefits here at William & Mary, that last bullet point, please visit that page. It has a plethora of information, and I believe most of your questions will be answered. As always, we're open to any questions. Please reach out to the Bursar's office, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Next slide. Third-party payments. Again, we've got the famous 529 payments, and I can guarantee that 50% of the questions that are out there are pertaining to these 529 payments. So I'm going to spend some time on this slide. Basically, you have two groups. You have the Virginia 529 plans, which break down into two categories, and you have the out-of-state 529 plans. The Virginia plans, let's go ahead and talk about those first. So we have the prepaid plans. Prepaid is an undergraduate product. It covers in-state undergraduate tuition and fees. It will never go past the in-state undergraduate tuition and fee allotment for the payout. So that's important for everyone to know. If you're an out-of-state student and you're using the Virginia 529 prepaid plan, it will only cover up to the in-state calculation for the tuition and fees. It does not cover housing and it does not cover meal plans. It will cover the tuition and fees. First step would be please notify your plan. Call their customer service line. Let them know that your student will be attending here at William and Mary. And then they will include your student's information and account information on a weekly roster that's communicated to our office. Now, I will tell you that we have already received the roster for the fall semester from Virginia Prepaid 529. After that initial roster, which is very large, they will send a weekly roster after that with any updates to anyone who maybe did not send it in yet. It's okay. So if you have not done that, I don't want you to panic. So please just contact them today and let them know that you'll be using the benefits here and they will include you on the next roster. We usually get those on Thursday or Friday, and we will upload the benefit to the student's account the same day we receive the roster. We're very fast about that. Of course, the benefit is posted to the student's account right away. So if we know you're on the roster, we know you're receiving the benefit, you will see that payment on your first e-bill as long as you've let them know in a timely fashion. Virginia 529 Invest. This product is a little bit more flexible in regards to that it can cover housing and meal plans and other cost of attendance items. Number one, you would notify the plan. Number two, you would log into your portal and you would request a disbursement to William and Mary. You can use your first e-bill for documentation. Those will be released on the 11th of July. So feel free to download a copy of the e-bill and supply that to them then. If you are asked for the grade, the credit hours, let them know that there is, in William and Mary, we charge a flat fee for undergraduate tuition. So it does not go by credit hour. So usually they just need to know that and then they don't need the rest of the information. Very rarely does it go past that scenario. So just tell them it's a flat fee, the tuition and fees, and that usually suffices their need. Payments are transferred directly to William and Mary by ACH, usually within 1 to 3 days, depending on a holiday or a weekend. And if you're concerned about the timing of the plan, just please contact your plan directly. So that is the Virginia plans in summary. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. With the out-of-state 529 plans, kind of the same scenario, notify your plan, let them know your student is coming here to William and Mary. Request a disbursement, however that procedure is with your particular 529 plan. Again, use your first e-bill for documentation. Again, we charge a flat fee, all-inclusive fee for our undergraduates here. If you need the federal school code, I have stated it here in the slide. And payments are received by check or Flywire. And I want to go into the Flywire option. So some of the larger 529 organizations nationwide have partnered with Flywire. And that will get your payment to the university in a much faster way. As we know, most out-of-state plans will send a check. So if you need to send it by wire, Flywire would be your option. So ask your plan if they partner with Flywire, and we can receive the payment that way. If the payment is delayed until after the e-bill statement due date, many of you may be concerned about that. You may need to pay your balance and have your student request a refund once those 529s are received. It's also an excellent opportunity for you to sign up for the payment plan. Just to put this in perspective, with the Virginia prepaid plan, it covers tuition and fees. It does not cover housing and meal plans. So if you signed up for the payment plan, your first payment is really just going to be paying your housing and meal plan portion of it. It's going to be a fourth of the charges. So the rest of that, you have a little bit more time, another month, for those funds to come in, and then it's going to pay the rest of the tuition and fees off. So just a little scenario for you to take into account That payment plan is a great method of just, buying a little bit more time when these 529 checks are a little late coming in, or maybe you were late applying for your FAFSA. Maybe there's aid that's still in the process of being worked out. That payment plan is a great option. We have no interest on that plan. It's $50 a semester to sign up, and I would really highly recommend it. Refunds. We have the link at the top that will discuss refunds a little bit more in depth. Please, please, please encourage your students to sign up for direct deposit. It is the most secure, the most fast, the most convenient way to set up their refunds. All Title IV or federal financial aid credit balances will be issued a refund automatically to the student on the first day of classes. Now, when the first day of classes comes here and your student doesn't see the refund in their bank account, realize that it takes 1 to 3 days, depending on your bank, for those funds to show. We've initiated the refund on our side, but it may take up to 1 to 3 days for you to actually see it in the bank account. Other refunds resulting from overpayments, maybe it's a third-party payment that came in, or just a general overpayment in general. Those charges require a refund request form to be completed for those funds to be sent back to the student. The refund request form is located on the web page referenced above. Parents, please know that when you're on the site, maybe you click the link, you're not going to be, it's going to know your login credentials. Only students can apply for a refund using the form. So if they have other refunds resulting from non-Title IV payments, please have them complete that form, and we'll get that refund right out to them. Next slide. Dum, dum, dum. Holds and late fees. No one wants to talk about this part. We do have holds and late fees here. They're for past due balances over $100. They will prevent their registration, and they will prevent adding or dropping courses. We do have late fees also. They're assessed once a semester. Here at William & Mary, they're 10% or no more than $100 of the current past due balance. So understand that it's 10%, but no more than $100 of the past due balance. Now, if your student has a hold and there is just a crucial date coming up, know that if you log into eServices and make the payment, that hold will automatically release. The system is gauged to automatically release that hold within 20 minutes. So we can save you a phone call. If you go in and make the payment within 20 minutes, log back in, your student will see that that hold's been released. So this is a great option. We have it set this way. So if you need to release a hold after hours or on the weekend, just by going in there and making that payment, that hold releases. The 1098-T tax form. Many of you might not be thinking about this right now, but you will be after the holidays. So the 1098-T tax form will be available in the eServices portal by January 31st. The tax form is not mailed, but it can be downloaded from eServices or printed, whichever your preference. Students must give their parents, authorized users, permission to view or download the 1098-T. So please have that discussion with your students ahead of time. There is a selection in eServices. You may have eServices credentials to sign in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have access to see the 1098-T. They actually have to check a little box. There's 4 of them with different things that they would allow you to see. For more information, please see the link to 1098-T info. That site has the answers to most of your questions. Here at the university, we are not permitted to discuss tax scenarios with parents and families. If you have, specific tax scenarios that you need to inquire about, we cannot answer those here, but we do recommend that you reach out to your tax professional. So verifying authorizations. We have really 2 categories here at William & Mary. The passphrase is to prove your identity in scenarios where you're emailing us or where you're calling us. We can't see you. We can't see your ID. We can't see your student's ID. So when you call or when you email in, we need the passphrase, or sometimes it's called a secret word. It's based on FERPA regulations. This is your student's private financial account, and we do need permission from your student to be able to discuss their account with others, including parents. So please make sure you have that discussion with your student. So the passphrase is initiated by your student. They will go into their personal information questionnaire and they will key in your email, and then it will send you your secret word. I recommend that you hang on to that email. That will be your word for their time here at William & Mary. Keep it in a safe place. And please always, when you call or email us, include the student's ID number and include your passphrase for an easy, quick answer from us. So we don't need to cause a second email or a second call to ask you for the information. Sometimes a passphrase is confused with the authorized user. I also run the call center here, so you can kind of tell that I get many of the questions that come in. The authorized user, sometimes we'll have a parent who will say, I'm an authorized user. Why do I need to have a passphrase? Well, the authorized user is a set of credentials for you to log in to TouchNet. So it's just a set of credentials. The student sends you the credentials. They go in to the portal and they require an additional authorized user. It will send the credentials to your email, and you'll use that link, that temporary password link, to set up your permanent password. That link that they send you expires in 24 hours. So when you have this conversation with your student and they send you this link, please go in there within the 24-hour realm and try to reset that to your permanent password. Otherwise, you'll need to reach out to us and we'll need to reset the link. Authorized users will have their own account logins separate from their students, just like the passphrase is a separate word from their student. It's not a family word. Some universities use family words. We have a person-specific word, which is based on the FERPA regulations. eServices, you've heard a lot about it during this presentation. It is it's our staple here in our office for all payments and for us to place our charges. Once logged into eServices, you can see your balance and your expected aid. We're going to see a little snapshot of what it looks like when you log in just a moment. You can access your statements, current statements, historical statements. You can see account detail per semester. You can enroll in the payment plan. By the way, that's going to be available on July 11th. If you log in right now, you're not going to see the icon for the payment plan. We actually have to make that live. So you will not see that payment plan option until the 11th when the statements go out. Make payments by ACH or credit card, debit card. You can set up your direct deposit for refunds there. And it's also, as we stated, the location where you would download the 1098-T tax documents. I'm going to take a look at what it looks like when you log in. So this is a little snapshot. You've logged in now, and you kind of see the setup. You've got to the right, you've got your authorized users where your student can select authorized user, add another user, have credentials sent to you. They've got their personal profile, consents and agreements. If they've signed up for a payment plan, that's where their agreement's going to live. An electronic refund sign up. In the center, you're going to see at the top, of course, your balance. And then you're going to see where any estimated financial aid is being deducted from that balance. And then you're going to see the reflected balance, which is the $26,221, which is the balance after the estimated aid is deducted. You're also going to see circled enroll in payment plan. Again, you will not see that right now if you log in. We have to make that button live, and that has not been done. We normally do not make that live until the day that the statements are dispersed. And then at the bottom, you'll see statements, your latest e-bill statement, and your latest 1098-T tax statement. Of course, you can always go in and see other statements as well, just by selecting View Statements, and you can see any past historical statements. Okay, next slide. Here is our contact information. Here is our regular mailing address, top left. That is the main address that you want to give any 529 plans, any outside scholarship, any tuition assistance plans. Please use that as the main address. And most importantly, we are a small city here at William and Mary, so please include the bursar's office in the tagline of the address. We've had many instances, especially with freshman students coming in for the very first time. Maybe you haven't set up your mailing systems yet, but please include the bursar's office in all mailings that come here. Here is our email address to our customer service center. I oversee that center, excellent individuals that will be very helpful to you. Email bursar@wm.edu. Include your student's ID number, include your passphrase so they can talk to you. Again, they can't verify who you are unless you supply that passphrase. So they can give you general information, but they can't give you account specific information unless you provide that first. Express or carrier services, if you need to rush us a payment, it's a completely different address. So please use the express or carrier service address on the bottom left. And then we do, surprise, we have a direct phone number. Who has that anymore? So we have a direct phone number that you can also call us if you have emergencies or you need a quick answer. We understand that. We supply our phone number there for you as well. And I think that we've come to the end of the road, Tabitha. Do you have any additions?
No, Kelly, thank you. You did a great job at a great job with that presentation. We are done. We will turn it back over to Heather. I did
Wonderful.
enter a question, Heather, in the chat for you. Someone had a
In
question.
Q&A. Thank you. Wonderful session. Lots of really great information. Just so that everyone knows, of course, this session was recorded and it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel very shortly. You can watch this and go back at any time. Q&A is open now at this point. So if you have questions, go ahead and drop those in the Q&A. I will say something quickly. If you have a really specific question, very specific to your unique scenario, we are going to refer you to the bursar's office. Just because those specific questions do take some time and we want to get some of those general questions out of the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to open up the Q&A over here and I am going to move through just a couple of these while we have time. How quickly does eServices get updated upon payment so that we know a 529 payment was received? So how quickly does a 529 payment get reflected?
Instantly.
Instantly.
So when the checks come in, well, I'll back up. If it's by check, we get a daily delivery of mail every day. We will log the checks in, and those checks go on the account the same day. So you will be able to see that check if you log into eServices. Keep in mind, you have an e-statement, which is static. It's a picture in time, right? So if the payment comes in after that, you'll need to log into eServices to see it. Think like your bank. You've got current transactions, and then you've got your statement that comes out. So you'll need to log into eServices to see anything that comes in after that statement's been issued. If it's by ACH and it's a Virginia 529 plan, 1 to 3 days, and you'll see the credit on the account.
Okay. I have a bit of a specific mailing question that's been asked a couple times.
Sure.
Is there a different zip code for the USPS PO box address than the Express Courier zip code?
The information that's stated on the slide is
Yes.
is the zip code you want to use.
Okay,
Yep.
so for USPS, it's 23187. And for Express Courier, it's 23186. Those
Yeah, that
different
is correct.
addresses, though, are listed on the Bursar's website. So
Absolutely.
this slide will have them and they will have the full zip code. And then you can also check for this information on the Bursar's website at any time while you're waiting for these slides to be uploaded. Someone asked, our phone carrier was not on the list. What do we do in that case?
Phone carrier?
I will have, if that person's listening in, if you can submit a follow-up question so we know,
Yeah, maybe a little
is
bit more
there
information.
is
Sure.
there a section of eServices that requests phone carrier information?
Not to my knowledge, but if you could get their email address, okay.
Yeah, we'll check and see. Okay. My daughter has outside scholarship checks made out to her specifically. Do we need to mail them to you, or what is the process for checks or scholarships sent directly to a student?
So if the check is made out to them specifically, I would have them sign the check over. If you want it included on the 1098T, I would have them sign the check over to the College of William and Mary on the back, sign it, and then bring that with them when they move in. Have them turn it in here to the student account office in Blow Memorial Hall, and we will go ahead and credit that to their student account. Just be really careful to watch the aging of the check. Certain checks may have different directives on them for when they're not honorable anymore. So just have them pay attention to that information.
Okay, let's see here.
And Heather, if you can get the information, if you can get the email address for the individual asking that question, I will get a response for them with the carrier situation.
Mhm. I believe it does ask what the carrier is, but we'll get more detailed information.
Okay, one second. I just sent that to you in a message, Kelly. So you may want to jot that down while we're on. Okay. Is there a fee for making payments instead of paying the full amount, which I think we covered? If there is going to be an installment plan initiated, there is a $50 enrollment fee per semester. If someone goes on before the due date and just chooses to make multiple payments, so they're not enrolling in a payment plan, what are the fees associated with that?
So
Depends on
we
how they pay. Go ahead, Kelly.
so we do apply late fees once per semester. Um, I would say that I would to guarantee that they're not going to be charged a late fee, I would suggest that they sign up for the payment plan. Paying in installments on their own past the due date is risking, receiving the late fee and a hold on the student's account as well.
If they choose to do payments though before the due date, so say they're just making multiple payments before the due date, is there any
Absolutely
fee?
fine.
Yep.
Nope, that is absolutely fine. They can log in and make as many payments. They can make 10
Right.
or more. Yeah, as long as the due date hasn't been reached yet, they're fine.
Okay.
Depending on how they make the payment, though, they might incur a fee. So if they're doing it with a credit card, there still is that, 2.9 interest fee.
Yeah. We have a question here that I'll answer. Is it possible to opt out of the university's provided student health insurance? Yes, there is a waiver process that the student will need to initiate. You can go to wm.edu/student insurance to view all of that information. That's also a step in your student's tribe guide checklist, and reviewing that information is also on the family checklist as well. So that waiver opened up on the 1st and it needs to be completed by the 31st. So if they're interested in opting out, there is a process that they can engage in.
Yes.
Take care of that one.
Heather, I may want to add, I don't believe that waiver is actually live yet. I think there's a couple more days. So I just don't want the parents to be frustrated if they click on the link and it's not active yet. It will be over the next week.
Okay.
So if it's not open, please check back. You can opt in if your student needs the student insurance, or you can waive it if you already have student insurance, but they will request that you submit documentation as proof that the student has insurance. It is mandatory that your student has student insurance here while attending the university.
Absolutely.
That is not for part-time or online students, though. So if you have questions about that, it is not a requirement for part-time or online students. And I am getting some information back about the carrier. So it is where the authorized user would create a profile in eServices to request notification and reminders in TouchNet. They do submit their phone number and their wireless provider.
Okay.
Thank you,
If
Ivan.
the provider isn't listed, should they use an alternate phone number?
I may have to get back with them on that answer.
Sounds good. How should a family go about handling the post 9/11 GI Bill?
You would start with the VA benefits sheet. You would complete that sheet and that would go straight to our university certifier. She is amazing. I don't want to say it like, but she is. She's
She
amazing.
is. She really is.
Um, she's one of the people that answers questions for some of the other certifiers in the country. So she is really amazing. So please complete that benefit sheet. That information will go straight to the certifier and she will communicate with you directly. She's very quick too, so you should hear from her very quickly. As soon as your benefits are certified, we place the benefits on your account. She communicates with us daily.
And she's
Um,
on campus, so she works,
she's
part of the
right here
Williams.
above us. Yep. So yeah, those benefits go on very quickly, and we take care of all the billing. So.
Wonderful. Someone asked if summer sessions are included in the payment plan, and if not, maybe why summer isn't an option for a payment plan.
They are not. The summer in general is just very short. It's a very short period of time. It's just not long enough to carry
A payment
a
plan.
payment plan of any type. So I would encourage them to reach out to financial aid
Yep.
or their 529 plans or other outside scholarships or resources.
Mhm.
How are William and Mary tuition grants processed?
Grants are through financial aid,
Mhm.
so they would just need to reach out through financial aid for that funding.
I'm looking through our questions. There are a few questions that have been asked that we've covered. Probably people joined a little bit late. So I'm
Sure.
going to check in and see if there's any new information that we want to cover.
I answered one question earlier. Someone asked, and it might be on someone else's mind, so I'll talk about it while you're looking through. Someone asked if how would a grandparent make a payment onto the student account? And basically, the student can add the grandparent as an authorized user in TouchNet, and then they can make the payment via TouchNet
Yep.
through
And
eServices.
I'll clarify too, when we say TouchNet, TouchNet
Is
is
eServices?
eServices.
Yeah, yeah,
eServices is TouchNet
Mhm.
and vice versa.
right.
So um, same thing, but you will hear me use eServices more frequently as the system that
Absolutely.
you are using. Yeah.
And I will add, we get many calls from grandparents and they want to mail in a check and they are so happy to do it. So we will walk them through the process and we will give them the address and we love talking to family members here. So just tell
Mm,
them to reach out to us if they have any questions and we will help them get their payment here.
absolutely.
When are the dates typically posted of, we anticipate that e-statements will be sent here and due dates here. How far in advance can families start to plan these different payments? When do you typically post due dates?
The due dates are included in the slides. They were in the earlier portion of that. We have the due dates for each of the semester billings.
Hmm.
But then any incidental charges that go on the student's account, maybe they returned some library books late, or maybe they had a trip to the health center for a health visit. Though we encourage our families check the account every month.
Hmm.
Just because the charges for the semester are going on at the very beginning doesn't mean that there's not going to be some little smaller things throughout the semester
Right.
that are charged to the account. So log into the account at least once per month. Take a look at it, make sure that there's nothing that needs to be taken care of. And those, you know, the bills are usually due on the first of every month, except for a couple ones around the holiday, or because of weekends. Sometimes you'll see, a couple of days off, but historically
Usually
they're due on the first of each
first of
month.
every month. And I would just say that if you incur a charge on your account, just try to pay it as soon as possible.
Yeah. And then, kind of on that same vein, as families are planning for the future, so we have all of the dates now for due dates for the next year. If they're thinking ahead to next summer and they're thinking about their student's second year, when can they see due dates for the next year? So, when does your team post due dates for the future?
Historically, the due dates do not change for the semesters. Like I said, they might be off by a couple of days because of holidays. But historically, for the fall, you're looking at August 1st. For the spring, you're looking at around the first couple of days of January.
Mm.
And for the summer, you're looking around the 1st of June. So, mhm.
Wonderful. Okay, that's all we have time for today. I know we have questions that have not been answered. You can always send us an email at families@wm.edu, but most of these questions, I would recommend that your student initiate some contact with the bursar's office or you reach out to the bursar's office. Now, keep in mind, they are going to ask for your student's identification number and your passphrase. If you
Yes.
need a refresher on what the passphrase is, what eServices is, and what these systems are that you will be using to access your student's information, this week's family newsletter included a very in-depth overview of each of these terms and tools that you will use to access student information, including very detailed step-by-step instructions of how your student will set you up as an authorized user in eServices.
Mhm.
So be sure to reference that email this week. This webinar will be uploaded to our YouTube channel and will be shared with all families via email, including the slides from this session. We will include that as well. So thank you to Kelly and Tabitha for joining. I know that you all are busy, busy, busy this time of year, and hopefully we could answer some questions, help us all out by answering a few questions today. So thanks again. Hope everyone has a great day. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.